Chandler Parsons is here. He's not on television quite yet. He's breathing heavily because he's got to go golfing with Johnny Manziel. Oh, Chandler Parsons' life is so hard. NBA Finals start tonight. We've got a parlay and a special boost for you guys as I'm maestroing this show on a Thursday, Summer Friday here on Up and Adams. David Johnson recently retired. Insane season. Like that 2016 is one of the greatest years I've ever seen out of any running back. We're going to get to that. And Lions, I'm just gonna sit here in silence because Chandler wants to go golf and.
By all means, keep going.
He just really wants to get out of here. He told me.
Like tea times are a real thing, anyways. Just show up, whatever you're. Just keep going.
Okay, we'll just sit here and.
Yeah, it's TikTok.
Okay, let's go.
TikTok.
Bet co-host to run it back here on FanDuel TV, Chandler Parsons. Tea times, I mean, the party doesn't start till you get there, right?
Well, no, not a tournament, Kay. You
really?
Have to be punctual. You got to get there. It's a shotgun starts. Like, we start on the 4th hole today. Someone starts on the 5th hole, and you got to...
Who are you playing with?
I'm playing with Johnny Foosball.
Johnny Manziel?
Who's a stick, by the way. He's really... That means he's good at golf.
Oh, I thought you meant he, like, lost weight. He was on the Ozempic or something.
No.
Okay.
No, he's actually pretty beefy right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
You two are boys.
He is... Oh, it's my guy.
Okay, got it. And then who? What other questions did you have, Richard, for him? Golf questions? You're going to be at. Who else are you?
So
playing?
Sherwood Country Club is a golf course.
Yes.
It's a club in
Robin
LA,
Hood.
in Thousand Oaks.
Shout out.
Exactly. And so they have a member guest, which I've actually never played in this tournament. It's the biggest one, but each member brings a guest. You play like 5 9-hole matches, and if you win your flight, you then go to this shootout. And you play in front of everybody, all the wives, kids, everyone comes and they watch, and you basically alternate shots with you and your guest, and they break you all the way down until there's a winner.
That's, well, good luck.
But we have to win our flight first, which we will.
I don't even know what that means.
We have to win our 5 9-hole matches.
Everyone wants to know who you're scared of.
Scared?
Like,
like on the golf course?
Who are you? Yes.
You know what? I looked our flight, so the guys were playing. There's 3 guys I don't know, and you never really know the guest either, so they could be bringing some sandbaggers. But so am I, so it's fine.
So you are, okay. I'd like to come.
Come.
Okay, we're gonna leave the show.
You should go Saturday, watch the shootout.
No, the reason you're here is because, you know, when NBA creeps onto my timeline, there's stuff going on. How did you manage to make the NBA Finals about you?
Right, that's called journalism. That's fine.
How did you do this? Luka Doncic, I can't say his
you should
last
just
name.
stopped at Luka.
Kristaps Porzingis. You said they didn't like playing each other when in Dallas. That those two have they don't love each other very much. Luka talked about what you said this week. Take a look.
I talked to Chandler Parsons maybe twice in my life, so I don't know how he would know that. But me and KP have a good relationship. I don't know what people to say otherwise.
Luka just down-sheets you.
Yeah, it's funny that people are like, oh, they eviscerated me. He said what he's supposed to say. And listen, if he's saying the relationship is good now, fine. I don't need to know him personally to have sources. I have deep roots in Dallas, so it's not like I'm just making shit up. So let's be honest.
What's the drama there over?
I'm just saying you could see when they played together, it didn't work out. Porzingis has said we were immature. There were stories how, you know, Rick Carlisle said stop being a baby to Porzingis, and Porzingis shouts at him, at Coach Carlisle, tell Luka to stop being a baby. And so like there was always like this rift between them, and maybe now that they don't play each other, that they have a better relationship. I had teammates that I didn't get along with when I played with them, and then once you moved on, you mature, you grow up, it's fine. So it's normal. It's human nature. Shaq and Kobe couldn't stand each other. It's fine. But I mean, listen, if the guy's saying they're friends, they're friends. I by watching and seeing and hearing everything that they said, it wasn't the best work. It wasn't the best fit, which again is completely normal. It's okay because now they both have moved on, and now one of them are going to have a chance to win a championship.
Do you believe that they both are? Do you believe that they're friends still, or do you think they're just saying that?
I mean, sure. If Luka's saying they're friends, they're friends. It's so funny because this became such a big deal. Like, but it's fine. What is he going to say? No, I hate him going into the finals.
That's why I'm asking you. He could just be lying. I mean,
sure. All I'm saying is I'm not just making. What am I, some loser freak that's just making up tea about Luka?
I don't know enough about this, so I'm just asking you genuinely. Like, do your deep roots and connections to Dallas?
I don't think they had the greatest relationship when they were playing together.
Okay, got it.
I don't. Now, since he's moved on, who knows? Have you ever seen pictures of them on vacation together? Like, I haven't. But again, that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if he's saying their relationship is fine now, great. Again, he's going into the NBA Finals. A reporter clearly asked him the question to try and stir the pot in the first place. So it's like, what's he going to make this about him and KP's like relationship? And I think when it went wrong, I used the word beef, like they actually
yeah.
But listen, whatever. If he says they're friends, they're friends. I just know watching them, seeing them, hearing everything I heard in Dallas, where I know a lot of people and have a lot of mutual friends, I heard it wasn't the greatest relationship. Maybe it is now.
Yeah, they're not golfing at Sherwood Forest anytime soon.
Sherwood Forest is not a thing.
What is it called?
Sherwood Country Club.
Sherwood, sure.
Sure.
Richard in my ear wants to know who you don't get along with.
Who I don't get along with?
Richard, why don't you come on the air and
Richard,
you
why don't
say
you
these
come
things
out here?
yourself? Who don't you get along with?
You know what? I never had like a real situation. There's teammates you don't hang out with. There was a guy, my rookie year, I remember it's actually a funny story. Terrence Williams from Louisville. He was on the Rockets. He was like a vet on the Rockets when I was drafted. And I started like my 5th or 6th game and took his starting spot.
Okay.
And it was fine. We were cool. And I remember we went paintballing as a team, and he, from this close point range, like shot me in the back with a paintball gun. So since that day, I kind of hated him. But again, it's like if I saw him now, it's like, would I have a beef with him? No, like I could care less. It was just part of that process and that timing of me being a rookie and the animosity and jealousy and same position. So I never really had like a situation with a teammate.
What do you want to tell Luka? Now you've got a situation with Luka, clearly.
No, I don't have a situation with Luka.
Okay.
I barely know Luka. I've met him. Obviously, I'm very close friends with Dirk and Cuban. So
You don't text him, right? You're not like.
I don't have Luka's phone number.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm not saying. Why would I say sorry? Because I know people that know that they don't have a relationship.
I just thought you might say I'm not some freak like sorry. I don't even know what you'd say.
I think he knows enough about me that I wouldn't just make something out of thin air, like sitting there being like, yeah, you know what? Today I'm gonna drop some clickbait. Like, no, not what I do.
Some people do that. That's why but I'm glad you're here to clear that up. Game 1 of the NBA Finals is tonight, my friend, in Boston. Pressure. Jason Tatum, Celtics, not only win game 1, but the whole series. Where are you sitting with this? Look at the odds here.
Yeah, I like the Celtics. I think they've been the most dominant team all year long. I think Luka is the best player in the series, but I think when you look at the matchups of Tatum and Brown and the X factors of Drew Holiday and Derek White, is Porzingis, they say he's going to play tonight, but how many minutes? Is he going to be productive? So I just think when you look at him, I think it's going to be competitive, but I got to go with the Celtics. They've been so consistent all year long. They're healthy for the most part, besides KP just getting back, so I like them.
You've got MVP odds. Everyone can go hang out at FanDuel Sportsbook and have some fun ahead of Game 1. I'm so curious about like the superstars looking for their first ring and just what it means. Rings in the NFL, like legacy, is so attached to them. It's a little bit different in the NBA. But I'm thinking about like who does this series impact the most, like win or loss? Like I'm thinking Tatum and Brown, they've been to 5 conference finals together. 1 NBA Finals. They have not won a ring. Like, that would be huge for them, right?
We were just talking about this on Run It Back. Like, Tatum and Brown and Luka, they're so young and they're so good. They're going to have time to get back to here. And then the Celtics have been so dominant in the Eastern Conference. They've got to the finals. They haven't won the big game. So I think there is pressure on them. Also, just because they're huge favorites. They're 2-1 favorites to win it. Like, they are 6.5 point favorites tonight. So they are supposed to win as a 1 seed that's dominated. The Mavs are a 5 seed. Everyone thought maybe it was going to be the Nuggets, other teams coming out, the young Thunder, the young Timberwolves. It's the Dallas Mavericks. So I think the pressure falls on the Boston Celtics just because of the expectation of them to win it, and they've been there before, and they have a really, really, really good team. But as far as legacy, everyone's going to be fine after that. Like Tatum, Brown,
I mean,
Luka,
who has the most to gain, I guess?
I think who has the most to gain is Kyrie. I think Kyrie Irving has the most to gain.
Because he won one in Cleveland.
Because he won one in Cleveland, and now he's happy. No one's talking about the negative headlines, the COVID stuff.
He wasn't a team guy.
And for Kyrie Irving to go back to Boston tonight, where it's going to be literally the most hostile environment he's probably ever played in. To go that and win a championship where he didn't succeed in Boston, I think he's got the most to gain in this series, just winning a championship, putting a stamp on his Hall of Fame resume.
I think your best friend Luka has the most to gain because he can get back there, but at 25 to do that, that's something people don't do.
Well, his trajectory has been nuts. 6 years in the NBA, 5 years All-NBA.
Yeah.
It's insane. We're talking about the greatest Mav of all time. He's been in the NBA for 6 seasons.
But I even looked at just the ages of dudes when they got there. Like LeBron and Jordan, it didn't happen for them till they were 27. Steph was 26. He was a young cat. Durant was 28. Dirk was 32, so he'd be the youngest of those greats to do. That'd be a cool thing to have happen.
And we've said all year long, once they made those trades for P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford, this is the best team Luka has had. This is the best supporting cast. So, he's got a great opportunity. I just think that the Boston Celtics, everything they do, their versatility, I think they have the better team. But how explosive Luka and Kyrie they have a chance. It's going to be competitive. It's just what are those other guys going to do? Is P.J. Washington going to have a great series? Are their bigs going to provide a lot? So it's going to be so much fun. I just can't wait to see the environment tonight, how loud. Because when I played Boston, It was nuts. It's the loudest place. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Their fans say the most outrageous shit. Like it is going to be awesome.
I don't know if you think this is outrageous. LeBron said this week Kyrie Irving is the most gifted player the NBA has ever seen. You mentioned it's the return for him to Boston. Will he get, is it safe to say he'll have a warmer welcome from Boston fans than you would have if you went to Memphis right now?
Oh man, yeah, like because it's the NBA Finals we're talking here.
He's gonna get a warm, rousing welcome.
Last time he was there,
get?
he was stepping on the lucky. He was literally flicking off the crowd. So I think it'll be bad, and I'll never go back to Memphis. So I don't think
You'll never go back to Memphis.
Never.
Memphis in May, a great jazz fest, great music festival.
Nah, it's not for me.
Barbecue, not for you. Okay, let's get to our parlay because that's for you. It's boost time. FanDuel is so amazing. They're like, hey, why don't you two put a boost together? It's like amazing. We sucked last week. 1-3 away from. We were 1-3 away.
We were so good.
No, because
and it was
I'd
your
rather
pick
be
on the town stage, but I don't want to bring that up. But it was fine.
I would rather be. I know you were so right about that. So we're going to rely heavily on our friend here, Chandler Parsons. We asked FanDuel, let's run this back. Let's make another boost. And who do you got? What's your first leg? Do you know it?
So yeah, I think I took Celtics money line, which is kind of a cop out.
Okay.
I do think game one. They struggled game two. They lost to the Heat game two. They lost to the Cavs game two. So I like the Celtics money line, and I think I went Drew.
You went Drew Holiday 10+.
Yeah, I think I went Drew Holiday 10+ points. I think that's big because when you play a Dallas Mavericks team and Luka and Kyrie are their best players offensively, you have to make them defend. So Drew Holiday, I think, is going to come out aggressive. He's going to try and get them in foul trouble. He's going to go downhill. So I love him to score 10+ points.
I was right about Kyrie. Let's focus on the freaking positive, okay, Chandler? I was right about that, so I'm going to run that back. Watch that show, by the way, every day on FanDuel TV. I'm going to run that back with 20+ points from him. He hit it for me last time. We're going to get this epic finals performance, game one. Back to Boston, facing his former team. Emotions will be high.
I love that.
He's going
like
to bring it. What's your next one? Do you have another one, or is it?
I've already
That's
said.
It?
No, I've
Oh
said
my God,
my
this
two.
Was so
Wait,
easy.
don't you have a
you don't
fourth?
Have to. Here's the parlay.
Oh no.
Well, he's got Sherwood Forest on the line.
Oh, we just did this.
Here's
This
our
picture,
parlay.
by the way, is shocking.
It's very. Show me that smile.
Yeah, it's like a
Ooh,
homecoming. It's like a homecoming pose, but also I hate my shirt.
It's Family Matters. Why does my shoulder look like that? Why
are you freezing?
Scoliosis. Of course I did. Because you
spinal bifida and you're freezing.
Oh my God.
Put a jacket on.
Drew Holiday 10+, Kyrie 20+. That's it. FanDuel boosting this bad boy from -145 to +100. Head over to FanDuel Sportsbook right now and bet the boost with us. It's 12 minutes. We kept it 2 minutes over.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Welcome. Am I getting paid overtime here?
I get to ask you.
Oh, what now, Richard?
He's yelling at me. He's not really, just so the world knows, he's not really, I'm joking. Reports this morning that the Lakers are interested in UConn head coach Dan Hurley.
What a curveball that was.
I heard I thought JJ Redick was all about this gig. What's happening?
I'm just as confused as you are. I think now they're talking about being a process, building a culture. Obviously, Dan Hurley has done that at UConn. He's back-to-back national championship coach at UConn, which is crazy because we talked about it today. He's the king of the hill at UConn, right? So you go from that with a chance to win back-to-back-to-back to going to the Lakers, where there's all sorts of pressure, there's all sorts of expectations. It's a different game. The way you talk to a college kid, you're not talking to an NBA guy. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know his relationship with LeBron. I don't know his relationship with Rob Pelinka at the Lakers, but it seems like it's getting closer and closer, but they have to convince him, it's interesting. But it sounds like it's going to be a long, lucrative deal for him. And if I'm him, I'm taking it. He's an older guy. He's never been at a chance to look at the NBA coach. I think when you're talking about the process and building a culture for the Lakers, I think that gives him time. So it's not like a 1 or 2 year expectation to win a championship. So I like it for him, but also he's got a pretty sick gig going on at UConn. You
can't leave without talking about this because my producers worked really hard on it. They were thinking about it forever. I'm not kidding. Not Richard. So
I feel like you're messing with me now. It's 8:13.
I'm not. Listen, there's this whole debate going on about Eli Manning career-wise versus Aaron Rodgers. C.J. Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year, said I'd rather have Eli's career. So we were thinking, my producers were, for like hours yesterday, what's the NBA equivalent? Because if you think about it, in the NFL, there's a big gap between quarterbacks that have 1 ring and 2 rings. Right. 2 rings is the big thing. NBA, there's a lot more greats that don't have rings. So it's different. Do you have a ring or do you not have a ring? What's the Eli Rodgers comparison?
Well, so we were talking about this, and I think it's weird because Eli has 1 more ring, right? But I think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback. Like when you rank greatest quarterbacks of all time, I think Aaron Rodgers would be ahead of Eli Manning. So it's just how do you value championships? In the NBA, I think they've gotten a little watered down right now. I was telling Blake Griffin the other day, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? And the Celtics were begging him to come back. So if he would have went back this year to the Celtics, right, and didn't play at all, now he's an NBA. If they win it all, he's an NBA champion. Now he's like a Hall of Famer with the ring. that carries that much weight, even though he wouldn't play a lot.
Should
He
it?
had a
Does
small.
it?
I don't think it does. Like I don't think so. I was talking to Rich earlier. So do you want like Robert Ory's rings, all his rings, his career, like however many rings he has? It's a bunch. Or do you want James Harden, no rings, a lot of points, and a lot more money? So like it depends on what you're looking at career-wise.
Here's what they came up with. Allen Iverson, guy with all the personal accoladades, no ring.
MVP.
And that would be Rodgers. Rodgers has a ring, but like that would be the
Right.
equivalent of only having one, versus Udonis Haslem, who won 3 rings but was never the main guy with the Heat.
I would rather have Allen Iverson's career and legacy and records and MVP than being a role player on a 3 or 4-time championship team.
Iverson versus Ginobili. 4 rings wasn't the #1 option with the Spurs.
Iverson. Like,
You'd rather have Iverson
Yeah,
careers
I think when you play to win and you want championships, but like at the end of the day, the career is you can only help so much, or you can only do so much. Allen Iverson's career is, first of all, everything he did the guy changed the dress code, for God's sakes. The guy is such a legend. But it depends. I think it's all personal opinion of what you value, what you want. I would rather have a great career. Obviously, you want rings, but like Blake Griffin never had a championship. Chris Paul's never had a championship. He's still Hall of Famer. He's still, you know what I mean?
You know how I feel about Blake Griffin. He wins all the time. So he's okay, got it.
Chris Paul, hell of a career.
You're free to go. He's literally itching to go. There he goes. Walk in front of the camera. Goodbye. Go enjoy your golf game. Tell Johnny Popo we say hello.
There you guys.
Goodbye. I saw that spicy photo shoot he had with his new girlfriend. Okay, we'll be back to talk. I don't even, God knows what. Who knew Ginobili was going to come up in the show? Hamilton, did I do okay? I tried to squeeze it in there. I really wanted you to come pitch that because it was very, as everyone saw, very uncomfortable for me. Ham. He's going to be mad. We kept him for 5 extra minutes. Good morning, everybody. We're arranging some things here in the old studio on our Friday. Happy Friday, world. 9:30 work. Kat, can you put home edit 9:30 tomorrow? 9:30. Yes, please. And Beverly Glen 9 a.m. No, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Thank you.
Hey.
Hello.
No, was
that okay?
I thought you did great with that.
Was it okay that I know it was Chris's production, but so ask him. But like I thought it'd be better to pitch him on the things.
Yeah, no, I thought that went well. And that was the best bump to break I've ever heard. We'll be back to talk about God knows what. Way to keep everybody locked in.
I'm very uncomfortable talking about the NBA. I think we've all realized. At least I knew what the legs of my parlay were. Hey, Suze, why don't you call your boy and get a rain on him? Yeah, Lauren. I know, poor Lauren. Lauren sends the same kind of text about me.
Poor Lauren.
We'll be on this thread, everybody, and we're like, this is what I want for my leg, and then Chandler's arguing with me about what we want, and then we want to put, building a parlay with somebody. It's kind of hard because he completely knocked us on our thing not hitting last week, which he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
So we spend all this time going through all of these different, like, I want this, what, and then, or I want this, don't take this, like, whatever it is. And then by the time you get there, you're like, what did we even pick? Where did we even land on that? As you just saw on the air. But you guys can go, it's a boost, so you have to play our parlay for it to be a boost, but there's a lot of fun things to do over at FanDuel Sportsbook. And I can't imagine, Lauren sends the same text about me, like, I told her. Thanks, Lauren. It's just cool that they let us, it's kind of fun to do.
Yeah, and to get that boost, too, to take something with minus odds and
do
make
you like
it
those
even.
Those are good, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I do.
Great.
Feel
We'd
very
love to
confident.
See it. Now what? Okay. Okay, let's do this. Jeez Louise. Okay. Oh, boy. Time for You, Me, and Top 3. I'm going to give you players I'm looking for in 2024 to have a big breakout defensive edition. First up, We forget about people who are injured. How about Christian Gonzalez, New England's first-round pick from the 2023 draft? He was named NFL's Rookie of the Month in the first few weeks as a pro before suffering this shoulder bang-up in Week 4. He's back. He's a full participant in practice. Reports are all saying glowing things about how amazing he's looked so far in minicamp and OTAs and all of that. And he said he wants to shadow opposing teams' top receivers. I love that. I love the confidence. And I think we're going to finally, New England knows this, Pat's friends know this, we as a nation are going to be looking at him as a top corner this season. Second, I'm seeing stars around Jaguars pass rusher Trayvon Walker. Okay, I just feel like, 10 sacks last year somehow flies under the radar. It's crazy that wasn't a breakout. I'd say it was, but he also had 7.5 of those come in the second half of the season, so it was unbelievable. I say he picks up where he left off and he makes that look like it wasn't a breakout, okay? I'm talking top 10 in sacks this year. And he and Josh Allen, newly paid, they got it done. Jaguars looking good. That will be, mark my words, the most feared edge rushing duo in the NFL. Finally, let's go with Jets edge rusher, Will McDonald. Say that 5 times fast. He was the 2023 first-round draft pick. Limited action rookie season. He saw 3 sacks, though, still. Got those on the record. He made a vow this offseason to get bigger, to get better. So word is he is turning heads around Florham Park already this offseason. And with the Jets sort of reworking their pass rush, they lost Bryce Huff, John Franklin Myers. I think it's going to be old McDonald had a sack, okay? And he's going to have more opportunities to show off the freakish talent that made him a first-round pick out of Iowa State. So mark my words, you can fight me. Those are you, me, and my top 3 defensive breakouts. Short break here. We're going to talk about the Lions after this, and David Johnson will be on the program. Hamilton, you're blowing my mind with these texts.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to text you.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, say that just one more time. Mm-hmm. Lions. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
2016,
I'll talk
David
to Chris,
Johnson. Was that the season before Good Morning Football?
That was the first year of Good Morning
Or the
Football.
first year, it was his year.
Yeah, yeah,
Nicest guy on the planet. So nice.
yeah. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this one.
I'm going to talk to him in a minute.
It is. It's like, I don't know, I was thinking about it. We had that conversation in the meeting, and it's like, I love that, like, even though it was that 1 year before the injuries set in, like, to show what you could do on that level and show that, you have that ability is one of the best, put up one of the best seasons we've ever seen. I think that speaks louder than having, like, the longevity, being like 1,000-yard guy for 10 seasons, to be able to come on the scene and just do what he did. It's,
I remember I had his
I feel
jersey.
like, yeah.
I want to hear from Chris and if he thinks. Would you take Rodgers or Manning's career?
It is a hard question because Rodgers
There's
has
too
the
many.
MVPs
But there's too many like extracurriculars. They're not just like what they were on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like you
That's
can't
true,
take Peyton
yeah.
away from Eli, and you can't take now Manning cast away from Eli. That's part of his legacy. And like New
Yeah.
York versus Green, like there's a lot. And then there's like Rodgers off the field, same stuff like is attached to him.
Yeah.
Good and good. Like.
And Eli's legacy in New York, like to your point, he is a legend in New York forever.
But it's like, but is their career tied to that? Like, if Eli has one ring, isn't he the same?
Yeah, but 2, doing it twice. I don't know. Doing it twice just takes it to another.
I don't know.
level,
Like,
too.
I think I'm losing. I think I'm on the outskirts of that. I think I'm like, I don't know if Aaron needs to.
Yeah, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer no matter what. But yeah,
I don't think it like changes anything for Aaron if he's bigger than life. I think, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lions kicked off their minicamp this week, and for most teams, these minicamps are kind of a more casual way to get some work in. The pads aren't on, they're chilling, drinking Gatorade, looking at TikTok, whatever. No, they're getting their work and they're doing their thing. They're trying to get the rookies up to speed, most importantly, and low-key get out healthy and ready for training camp when it happens in July. So you wouldn't know that that's the way that things go from the way these Lions players are talking, okay? It sort of pinged our radar when we were looking at all 32 and what we wanted to focus on this last day of the week here. They're coming off a breakout season, a trip to the NFC title game. They were seconds away from making it even further. Jared Goff and Derek Barnes, they were asked if there's any sort of, we have success, we're good, there's no pressure, whatever, complacency, whether you want to say that, in how Dan Campbell is managing the team right now. Listen to them.
What could possibly hurt us is thinking we'll just show up week one and do it again. I don't believe for a second that'll be our attitude, but that's human nature to think that way. So he's been on us, and we appreciate it, and we've been on ourselves. We've been holding each other to a higher standard and higher accountability, and it's been fun to see leaders emerge, and I'm trying to every day to be better myself, and but yeah, I think Dan kind of makes sure that'll never happen.
It's the same mindset this year. We're not dancing and giggling because we went to NFC Championship. We should have went to the Super Bowl, and that's our mindset. So everybody got to get it.
Everybody got to get it mentality. I like that mindset here in early June. I'm sort of ready to run through a wall right now, and it seems like every other contender is dealing with something, right? There's everything matters. Every little second matters. It's true. These OTAs, these guys are not showing up, the CD, the Ayuk, there's some coaching concerns, off-the-field issues with other contenders, figuring out how to replace the player that left in free agency. Do these Lions have that? I'm going to say they don't. They are settled, full steam ahead. They've got the most continuity offensively of any team in the league. 10 of the 11 projecting starting spots being filled by returning dudes. We all thought OC Ben Johnson was a lock to become head coach once the season ended, but nope, they kept him. That's huge. He's in the mix. Amon-Ra gets an extension. Dan Campbell won't stop raving about Jamison Williams, one of our breakout players that we're looking at here. How about Gibbs, Laporta? They have a year under their belts. If this isn't the number one offense in the league, I'd be surprised. I mean, obviously, we're looking at the Ravens. There's a bunch of great, but as far as right now, they got everything going for them. The defense has had some turnover, a little bit more. Most of those moves, though, should improve the team. They bring in our guy, DJ Reader. They bring in Marcus Davenport up front, Carlton Davis, first-rounder Terrion Arnold. He's going to, I think, add a boost to an already energetic, vibey place and help the secondary, which has been the piñata, the thing that we can swing on and say that they've been lacking, since before drafting Jeff Okudah, which didn't pan out. So let me put it this way. This team is so complete that Dan Campbell talked for 5 minutes in his presser yesterday about the plan at the fullback position. Not that I don't love a fullback, nobody, we love a fullback on the show. Shout out Marcel Reese, a longtime friend of the program. But, I mean, they're talking about the fullback for 5 minutes because there's nothing else to freaking talk about. Take a look. Currently, second best odds to win the NFC at plus 600, and I'd say deservedly so. I think the competitions in the North will be stronger. That's fine, but I think they're ahead of it. NFC's better too. Fine, great. I don't really care. Hard to find a more well-rounded squad, a safe bet in the NFL right now than these Lions. Okay, we are going to have Hamilton come in, who loves the Lions, of course. And are you going to try to come? Are you not going to be able to come out with me to Detroit if I go in July?
Still TBD there. We'll see.
I don't think I can go to Detroit without you.
Okay, I'll do it.
Well, Calvin Johnson's having a golf tourney. We're thinking of going and broadcasting the show from there. There's some great guests, like the Barry Sanders of the world, legends. Of course, we would just go to see Megatron and support him, of course, but I'm thinking we do our show from there. It's in July. It's when we come off of our hiatus. I know you're all New Rochelle all the time, but come on.
All right, I'll do it. I haven't been back since I worked there, so that'd be pretty fun.
I like that team issued gear.
Yeah, we got our 7-on-7 tournament today.
Sounds like you'll be bringing me a gift next week. We've got David Johnson.
Rhett's Rhett's really behind on this.
Rhett's playing hard to get. I don't mind Rhett. Rhett's been doing his thing for 4 years now. All right, we're going to take a short break here. Coach Rhett, love ya. Always will. We will be back to talk to David Johnson, not just about 2016, but about 2024 and beyond. Cannot wait. We're going to go a little in the rear view and look ahead with our guy, DJ. I don't know what that means. Great. Cool. Hammer, I would adjust that. I think what I said, but like if there is a newsy thing, given the #1 virality of that, we should feel like we could go for it. I just don't know truly anything about it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I would. I don't know what I would take. I think I'd take Eli's life. I think I look at it more like life.
Yeah.
Whose life would I? Well, actually, no. Like, I don't know whose life I would take.
I don't know. Everywhere Eli shows up in this tri-state area, he's a legend. You know,
but
he's
Aaron
loved.
not?
He's always. He's a legend, but I don't know if it's not. I don't know if it's the same reception as Eli.
So, like you're saying, so you'd rather have like Victor Cruz's career than Aaron Rodgers? Is that basically what you're saying? Because Victor Cruz can roll into Carbone and get like what is the I don't know what you're saying, that he gets screamed on the street like Victor Cruz does? Give me a break.
I mean, to win 2 Super Bowl MVPs, it's a huge deal, and especially I think the way he did it too, beating the undefeated Patriots. It's the greatest Super Bowl upset of all time. It's one of the greatest moments in sports history. And then to go back and do it again and take 2 from Brady, not just winning the 2, but the way he did it.
Did he need the 2? Did he need the 2? Don't you think he would have been okay with the 1? I think I'm defeating the argument of the 1 versus 2.
If he just has the 1, he's Flacco. You have the 2, you go to another, it's just a 1 year. He had this 1 great year and that was it. To go do it again, it's special. It's so hard to do, and there's so few guys that have won multiple.
Patrick.
Yeah. And I don't think it necessarily takes away from Rodgers that he didn't win multiple. He won 1, which is hard enough to do, but I think adding that 2nd really does it. It puts you in rare company.
Who made more money?
What was that?
Who made more money?
Rodgers for sure. Eli did well though. Rodgers just kept it going longer. Yeah. Is that all? But yeah. And the MVPs too. I think, what does Rodgers have? 4 MVPs? Which Eli doesn't have any, so you got that in the mix too. No, it's a hard argument. It really is.
Let's make it live. Let's get it up. To just survive, it's not enough. Went through the fire, emerged, and it was tough. Now I'm asking now, who want what? Who want what?
My next guest spent 8 seasons in the NFL with the Cardinals, the Texans, and the Saints. He's a Pro Bowler, All-Pro, just recently announced his retirement from the NFL. Congratulations, the Humble Rumble. David Johnson, congratulations on an incredible career.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
I haven't talked to you, I feel like, in 8 seasons. What is going on? What have you been doing? Tell me everything.
I know, it's been a while. I've been really stay-at-home dad with our 3 kids and hanging out with the family a lot more, being coach to our 7-year-old son, DJ. And, it's going well. We have a basketball championship and a flag football championship. So who knows where that'll lead us.
I feel like I've talked to a lot of players lately that have, like, I think Emmanuel Sanders, Chris Harris Jr., all coaching. I just had Donovan McNabb on yesterday. He's coaching in softball and everything. Do your kids understand? Does your 7-year-old understand your greatness?
No, he doesn't. Well, I wouldn't say greatness, but he definitely doesn't understand that I played in the NFL. He thinks all dads played in the NFL. He's like, what team does that dad play for? You know?
Really?
I got to kind of explain it to him a little bit that not all dads play in the NFL. They have other jobs which are awesome too. So it's funny because he'll like try to talk to dads and ask them, you know, where their football helmet is at in their house or where their equipment is at stored at. So it's funny.
He's like, no, that's Jim. He sells insurance for Geico. He doesn't exactly. That's what he went to school for accounting. That's not exactly the thing. Has he seen your highlights?
He has, and honestly, it's more of his friends that will show him. His friends who are big into football. See, I haven't got him big into football yet. He's like not trying to play every day. He's more like playing basketball or baseball.
Okay.
And his other friends are all doing like the Justin Jefferson dance every chance they get at recess. Every time we see them at the pool, they're trying to do the gritty and stuff. And DJ, you know, he's just going along with the flow. He doesn't know that I like played against him. I actually talked to Kid yesterday about how like I played against him and I played against all these other guys, played with J.J. Watt, and they're like, no, you didn't. You know, I'm getting in arguments with these 7-year-olds about it. And they don't, sometimes it's hard to get through their head, you know, that I played, but it's funny.
But I don't know. I think you all do it wrong. I've talked to so many, I think I was talking to I've talked to everybody about this. The fact that you don't have meetings, tape watching, you sit your butt down. Let me introduce you to a thing called YouTube, and we're gonna go back to 2016 when you were just a dream and hope in my eyes, and you should show them. I would be flexing on that all day. That room that you have there, I would make that my whole house, DJ.
I know I should do that with DJ, but my 7-year-old. But when we watch it, he's like watching the other guys. I remember the other day he asked me for another running back's jersey, and I was kind of a little hurt by it, you know. I was like, I think it was a McCaffrey jersey. Great jersey, you know. But I was like, man, that kind of defeats my ego a little bit. And, you know, I might have to start doing that. Have him watch film like we had to all day for like 6 hours straight. I'd be like, JJ Watt, I'm going to FaceTime you in 3 seconds. I'm with a bunch of 7-year-olds, and we're going to blow their minds. I just think it's actually hilarious. What's your son's name, the 7-year-old? DJ.
That DJ thinks that everyone has a room like you have.
Oh, he does, and it's funny because like he thinks everyone's friends with like Larry Fitzgerald. Like I have photos of him hanging out with Larry, and he's like, oh yeah, that's my dad's friend, you know. He's like, oh, you don't know him? You should know him. Like to his friends, and they're like, no, DJ, we've never met him before. What are you talking about? And he's like, oh, okay, well, let's go play dodgeball or something. You know, he doesn't know how to like talk to kids about.
Okay, I'm gonna call him so he understands that that's the most insane thing that he gets Uncle Larry. If I were to dream up in Hollywood what the perfect uncle would look like, it would be Uncle Larry Fitzgerald. Like, how is Larry Fitzgerald?
He's doing good, you know. He's still golfing like every day. Every time I talk to him, it's always golf or business, and he's always trying to help me out. Now that I have transitioned to retirement, he's talking to me about investments and stuff and just trying to help me out because I don't know what I'm doing in the world of business. And he knows a lot. I feel like he owns half of Arizona. And so it's good talking to him and just being now I don't even know how to say it, a normal person, just trying to, you know, learn more about stocks and bonds and learning more about, you know, just trying to save money and do right and do everything the right way.
Why'd you retire?
I felt like it was time. Obviously, I didn't play last season. I tried to continue to work out and play. And I think the biggest thing with me is that I just got burnt out of training relatively by myself, especially when everyone's in the season and trying to wait for the call and just having to do it by myself and no one to, you know, just train and grind with and get ready for that opportunity was tough, was taxing on me. And I know I should have been on a team, and I feel like I still had, tread to be able to play for teams and be able to contribute to who's ever franchise would have gave me a call. And I think that just the wear and tear on my mind and just, you know, lifting was just tough going through last season. And I started to do it this off season. And once they started OTAs, you know, I realized that it was time. And also I loved I kind of got used to being with my family. And like I said, coaching my son, DJ, and just being with them and hanging out with them, going to school, hanging out with them every day. And I just, fell in love with doing that. And I realized how much, not necessarily that I missed, but I did miss a lot of the things that our kids were going through when I was playing in the NFL. And so it's definitely a brighter spot. And, I'm glad that I have a family to come back to now that I'm done playing football. And, it's been a blessing to have Megan and my family with me. And, I just got used to it, and it's been fun, man. It's been an awesome time. It's been an awesome time just going on vacation with them, hanging out, playing catch. Now DJ's old enough that I can play catch with him, play football, play catch, play baseball, and we can actually have talks of like strategy of sports and all stuff like that.
It's all fun and games until he wants a McCaffrey jersey. That's.
I know. It's like, you know what? You're not getting that jersey. I have 5 DJ David Johnson jerseys I can give you. So
you have a beautiful family. You have a beautiful life. So many blessings. So many things to be grateful for. We're sitting here in June. As we get into July, I guess I would just love, because you're so eloquent in talking about it. Like, what are the thoughts? How would you describe what's going on up here right now, being away from the thing that you were so in love with for so long?
You know what? Honestly, since I didn't play last season, and then basically, this whole off season didn't really do much organized training with any teams, that my brain is feeling great. Like I said, I've realized how blessed I am with the family I have and the opportunity that I have in this life. Obviously, I was blessed with the contract that I got, and I'm able to not stress so much about financial strains of providing for our family, college tuition, stuff like that for our kids when they get older. So I'm good. I'm at a good place. Having a great time with my family. We're on vacation a lot, especially now with school being done. Finally, we can do stuff, and so it's been good for me. I have no complaints at all. Now the biggest thing, like I said, is just figuring out how to transition to what I want to do next, which I have no idea what that could be or what that is. I know I love, coaching. I know I love, keeping kids active. But with coaching, I've talked to, as I played in the league, just talking to strength coaches and running back coaches and coaches in college, I feel like they have less time with their families than we did as players. It's wild, I remember talking to a lot of coaches in the league that they said they had to stay the night at the facility just because, they're, by the time they get done, it's like 11 o'clock, and then they got to be back at the facility the next morning at like 6. So they said they would just stay. And I was like, see, I don't really want that life right now. And, my kids are young. I want to be there for them for every step of their journey in school and life. So
it's a real sacrifice.
We'll see.
You look at those coaches, those coordinators, strength coaches, like you're saying, everybody that makes it work. It is it's overwhelming to think about the sacrifice they make in being away, and 23 out of 24 hours thinking about the team, the sacrifice their family makes for them to achieve greatness and all of that. And I hear what you're saying, and I feel like you're in a great place. But I also am calling BS because I'm watching I'm looking at you, and then I'm watching these training vids, and I'm like, this isn't gonna stick. I just feel like you're not. I feel like you might come back.
No, I'm good. I'm settled.
Good.
You know what? No, that's like an 105-degree heat, just training and here in Houston in the swamp, and I'm good.
There's no team. There's no team, David, that could call you and say, like, come on. No team that you'd be. If there was one team that could pique your interest, who is that team?
There's 2 sides to it. Obviously, if I wanted to get a ring, which I haven't got, it'd be obviously a team like the Chiefs. But I would love to go back to Arizona, and I got a lot of fans there. Whenever we go back and visit, you see a couple of 31 jerseys of mine, and just get back to that environment where I did have the success, and it'd be cool to at least finish my career there and retire as a Cardinal. That'd be something that I would love to do. So it'd probably be, just Arizona. And then if a ring, it'd be somewhere a team that has a chance to make it.
No, Arizona's the right
But
answer.
But honestly,
I know.
Good.
I know you are. I had to, come on, I'm doing my job. I just had to put out there. But I mean, Arizona would be the call. And now let's just go in the review a little bit and just enjoy your amazing moments here. The moment that put you on everyone's radar. Jerseys are flying off the shelves after this. 2015, Week 14, Sunday Night Eagles. What does this bring to mind? These 31 touches.
Oh man, just how blessed I was. I had a great. People don't realize. I mean, they do because our team was good. I had such a great team of teammates and older guys that really helped me, do what I did there in Arizona. And I was a rookie, and Larry, Carson, Patrick, Tyron, Calais. I mean, I had so many guys. Drew Staten, Drew Butler. Those guys really helped me out in transitioning from college to the pros. I went to a small college, and then to come to Arizona at the time where they were just on the doorstep every year for the last 3 years prior to that of making it to the Super Bowl and having good seasons, and stuff would happen. Carson towards ACL or things like that, and man, it was more of the thing I remember most and loved and cherished the most was the bond I had with the guys on the team, man. And I learned very quickly that it's a business because guys that I would never have thought to leave the Cardinals ended up leaving the next year or the year after, like Tyron and Calais and those guys. And I was like, there's no way they're going to disband, this team after we made it so far. And I figured out quickly that it was a business. And it was a good time, man.
I want to see those highlights again because you're talking about what it meant to you. And talk to me about you. David, you're the perfect running back. You're your speed. How did you escape? Can we see those highlights from that game again? This is one game. You had 3 touchdowns. It was crazy. It put you on the map and all that. I think they're trying to re-rack it. I'm just thinking like, Monty, let's clip this off. You got to retire as a Cardinal, right? Is that the plan here? You deserve to retire as a Cardinal.
Oh yeah. That's my goal. To retire, finish my career where it started as a Cardinal. And I was just trying to, prove myself at that time. We had a big running back class that year with Todd and it was a couple of other guys, Amir Abdullah and those guys, Duke Johnson. We had a big class, and I was just trying to prove myself coming from a small college. And even Bruce Arians at the time hated rookies. I was one of them. No matter what I did, he was like, he's not ready. And so I was just trying to do everything I can to get on the field and showcase my talents and ultimately help the Cardinals, win games.
You had the strength, you had the speed. I don't know how you're escaping some of these things. It's absolutely insane. The receiving ability, it's brilliant to watch. I love it so much. And then, 2016, you had arguably one of the greatest seasons by a running back in NFL history. 15 straight games, at least 100 yards from scrimmage. NFL record at the time. You led the league with 373 touches, 2,118 yards, 20 scores. 20 scores. So when you look at those numbers and these moments and these highlights, knowing what you know now, what would you tell this guy out here making fools of everybody else on the other side? What would you tell him about how rare that is?
That it is rare. And that, what I did in 2016, not a lot of people did. It's very hard to do. And, everything that I did leading up to that paid off. That was the biggest thing. I was going through a lot of, adversity, going to smaller colleges and stuff. And it finally paid off at that moment in that season. And, just the biggest thing is just cherish it. Like I said, I found out quick that it doesn't happen all the time. Not a lot of guys can do what I was doing in 2016.
Did you think you would, David? Did you think it would just keep rolling that way?
I definitely did, for sure. I thought I was definitely going to keep it rolling and have another season, better season than that the year after. Obviously the Rams game with the knee injury, trying to go for 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing, which I'm grateful for Bruce for trying to do that. It was kind of a meaningless game at the end, and he was still trying to help me out and become one of those guys. I think only 2 or 1 guy has ever done that in the league in history. And so, man, that's probably one of the things I regret the most is not being able to get that 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving.
You know, you had so many highs in these moments, like truly one of the standalone best seasons I've ever seen. And I could watch those highlights all day. But you also dealt with a lot of adversity. I mean, like 20 to 30 injuries throughout your entire career. What was the lowest point that you battled through?
It was probably, honestly, it was the trade, the Hopkins trade coming to Houston, and thinking that it was going to be, you know, Houston the year before. I think they made it to like the second round of the playoffs. And then going through that season, I mean, we fired our head coach 4 games in, and it was just no one really wanted to be there. It was a tough season. And, you know, obviously with the trade of the Hopkins trade, everyone was, you know, I literally had to delete social media because of people assumed that I was part of wanting to trade and do that trade. And, you know, obviously when the season started, you know, going downhill for the Texans, it was a rough season. It was a rough time. Luckily I did have my wife and my family supporting me and backing me up and being there for me through all that, you know, hardship.
And it's always hard when you pop off one year. The follow-up to that is incredibly hard. I think it's like it's a good example for somebody like even at the quarterback, like C.J. Stroud rolls in, he's Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now he's got to follow that up. And like, if, you know, you have to be built to deal with adversity like you sort of dealt with. I mean, I will say that I know that I'm surprised to hear you say it was that trade. I understand what you're saying, but I also feel like you had a great year, right? You had 1,000 yards?
Yeah, no, I don't even know if I did. I don't think I did.
No, you did. You had 1,000 yards in Houston. You had 8 touchdowns in Houston. So I think you're being a little hard on yourself, David.
I am. See, but I'm comparing that to my 2016 year,
what you
and that's what everybody was
yeah.
trying to. Yeah, exactly. And that's what everybody was trying to, you know, have me do that at the Texans. And it wasn't just the trade. It was more of the season as a whole at the Texans that year, I would say. Dealing with everything that was going on that I actually didn't really have a part of, you know, with, you know, just the turmoil of the coaches and the players, their relationship between them two. And, you know, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, obviously not being on the team the year prior.
Yeah.
And so it really wasn't a trade. It was more of just dealing with a whole season, NFL season of, I don't know, 16 or 17 games of that plus COVID. It was a COVID year where no one knew what was going on. I remember the first 2 games, there was no one in the stands. And so it was a lot of stuff thrown my way, a lot of adversity. And so I feel like it wasn't just a trade. It was a lot of stuff that contributed to that season as well.
I think it also goes back to everything gets compared to 2016, and then Bill O'Brien gets fired 4 games in. Romeo Crennel takes over. Like you're saying, there's this these push and pull politics, a pandemic, all of that. It's like the 2016 season. You would never not want it, right? Like you would, but it's not all a blessing. There's a little. Everything gets stacked up to that. How do you know, your retirement has to also lead back to that, like chasing that again, wanting that 1,000. You know, there's this talk about like, whose career would you rather have? Eli Manning's with 2 rings or, you know, Aaron Rodgers with 1 ring and all of that. So when it comes to looking at seasons and careers, would you have traded the 2016 amazing season, that one moment, for the longevity of a 10 healthy season, 1,000 yards, 7 to 8 touchdowns a year?
No, definitely not. Because just like a ring, you never know if you can get a ring ever in your career. And just like that 2016 season, I never knew if I was going to get that again. So I'd rather have that 2016 season and then have the career, which it wasn't a bad career for me, but have the career that I had then to play 10 years and have 6 or 7 touchdowns and not be known as one of the best, and, you know, just be an average type running back. I would definitely keep my 2016 season for sure.
I would too, and I would take Aaron Rodgers' career, I think, over Eli Manning's. What do you think? What would you rather take?
Eli's. The rings you can't get those again, and you can make money off of when you're done playing, as you can see with like Tony Romo. You know, Peyton Manning, the brothers with their show that they have.
4 MVPs.
But you can never go back. But you can never get a ring. I feel like a ring is, you know, that's the ultimate goal every season, is to get a Super Bowl ring for every player. Obviously, you have your own individual goals. Like I tried to get was 1,000. But the ultimate goal is to get a ring. And I can tell you one thing. I bet you talk to any player that played in the league and never got a Super Bowl ring, and you ask them the same question, I bet they say the same thing. They'd rather have the Super Bowl ring than to, have, like you said, the MVPs and stuff like that.
Is it crazy to think that C.J. Stroud might have a Super Bowl ring at some point? You're talking about the year you got there. I feel like pandemic was not that long ago. And in such a short period of time, your experience with the Texans has turned now into the quickest franchise turnaround maybe I've ever seen. D'Amico, Nick Caserio, you live in Houston. I just would love to know what your expectations are for these Texans this season.
Oh, yeah, they definitely have a good chance. I feel like he's definitely did a great job with them as a rookie last year. And like you said, like we've been talking about, you only get better. You only want to get better and have a better season the next year. And so I just feel like with the Texans and everything that's going on with them, it's going definitely in an upward spiral. And I feel like they have a great chance, especially in their division. We know they probably have a great odds of winning their division alone. And then just having to beat, the Chiefs and those good teams once they get to the playoffs. I definitely see it, and especially like you said, being in Houston, I can feel the atmosphere. I can feel the fans just coming along, and they're starting to really believe in and have hope for the Texans. And they're with C.J. Stroud, they just got Stephon Diggs, and so I feel like they got some good weapons for him.
What about Joe Mixon? I got to get your thoughts. I mean, is he a fit? Have you watched him run? Is he a fit for this offense?
Yeah. He definitely is, because he's a hard running back, and that's like you said. Ever since D'Amico has came and been the head coach, they're more of a downhill run type offense, and so he fits them a lot better than a pass catching running back, I would say. Even though Singletary last year did catch some good, have some good catches for him, but I just feel like Joe Mixon fits their offensive scheme very well.
23rd rushing offense last year. Hopefully they can improve with Joe Mixon. Congrats on an amazing career. Thank you for reliving some of the highlights for me. I'm going to keep the door open just a little bit in case in the playoffs a Super Bowl contender comes calling. I'm just going to leave the door open. But you enjoy your family and little DJ and snowboarding, apparently, as we leave the show here on Thursday. You're Mr. You and Megatron should link up and do snowboarding. DJ, I appreciate you. You know that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congrats, David. Bye. See you tomorrow, guys. Or no, Monday.